my dear students, myself Gangadhar Solanke, and I welcome you all to the MC James virtual classroom. My dear students, today in Standard 6th Geography, we'll be learning the topic Importance of Oceans. And as you know, in the previous standard, we have studied the lithosphere, hydrosphere, the proportion of land and water on the earth, and also the major oceans. So here earth spheres, in that lithosphere and hydrosphere, here you can see lithosphere, that is solid earth, then hydrosphere, all water found on or under and over the surface of earth, that is all inclusive water bodies, hydrosphere. And the atmosphere, here the gases that surround the earth, that is its air, is atmosphere, and the biosphere, all life on earth. So interaction of the lithosphere, atmosphere, biosphere and hydrosphere. All these are the earth spheres: lithospheres, hydrosphere, atmosphere and biosphere. Now in the lower standard, you people already have studied about lithosphere and hydrosphere. One more thing, this chart is given in our textbook about the ocean and its area in square kilometer. So the Pacific Ocean and its area, Atlantic Ocean and its area in square kilometer, Indian Ocean, Southern Ocean and Arctic Ocean. That now you can find this here in the globe: South Pacific, South Atlantic, Indian Ocean, North Atlantic, Arctic and the Pacific. The hydrosphere includes all the water bodies that exist on the earth. Now here the word all is very important. The hydrosphere includes all the water bodies, जितनी भी है वो सारी water bodies मिला के hydrosphere बनता है. This covers all the oceans, seas, rivers and their tributaries, lakes, reservoirs and also ground water. Now here one thing to understand, the hydrosphere, which means all the water bodies, चाहे वो जमीन पे क्यों ना पानी हो या फिर जमीन के अंदर, that is what is ground water. Ground water और जमीन पे, लैंड पे जितनी भी वाटर बॉडीज है उन सब को मिला के हाइड्रोस्फीयर बनता है. Of the total global waters, 97.7, how much? 97.7% is contained in oceans. Just imagine this figure. Out of 100%, 97.7% water is in the oceans. तो बचा हुआ सिर्फ 2.3 जो है वो बाकी चीज़ों में है, जैसे इट में बी इन द rivers or in the lakes or in the reservoirs and also including groundwater. Now the next thing, there is abundant aquatic life in the oceans, from the microscopic planktons to huge whales. Different types of living things are found in the oceans, and once they die, their remains accumulate in oceans. Now here one thing, this figure 6.1 given in our textbook, living things in the hydrosphere. As we know, number of animals are there in the water also, like fish, tortoise and the different types of fishes. So from microscopic planktons, microscopic मतलब जिन्हें हम विथ ओपन आई देख नहीं सकते, जिन्हें देखने के लिए हमें माइक्रोस्कोप का यूज़ करना पड़ता है। ये एक साइड हो गई। और दूसरी साइड की अगर हम बात करेंगे तो बहुत बड़े से बड़े वेल टाइप ऑफ फिश। तो इतनी वैरायटी है, इतने डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ लिविंग थिंग्स ओशन में होते हैं। और ये सब या फिर इनमें से कुछ जैसे एक एक करके मर जाते हैं, देन द रिमेन्स एक्यूमुलेट इन द ओशंस। And all rivers flowing from mountains or hilly areas finally meet the oceans that we know. Now, what happened while moving from mountains towards the ocean? Sediments from eroded lands, trees, and bushes flowing with the water, dead remains, etc., enter the ocean with this river water. Now, the first thing, remains of the dead living things and then the sediments from the rivers. In both these processes, the dead remains decompose, releasing various minerals and salts into the ocean water. Now, during volcanic eruptions, what happened? Different minerals, ashes, salts, get gases are added to the water, and this increases the level of salt and minerals in ocean water. Due to the continuous evaporation of oceanic waters, the proportion of salts increases. Proportion of salt increases, and what happened then? Salinity of the water also increases. So, this salinity is expressed in terms of mils, that is particles per thousand. So, the average salinity of oceanic water is 35 mils. And the Dead Sea, which is known to have the maximum salinity, which is 332. We obtain salt from the salty waters, and salt as a substance is obtained by constructing salt pans like this. In the coastal areas, salt is an item in our diet, and which is very important. Without salt we just can't imagine to eat something. बिना साल के, बिना नमक के हम कुछ खाने की चीज़ को imagine भी नहीं कर सकते. So salt, which is very important item in our diet, which we get from the ocean. Next, many minerals like phosphates, sulfates, iodine, etc. is also obtained from the sea, and we depend on oceans to some extent for minerals. That is why the marine minerals, which are very important, and we are totally depend on that. Now the next thing, many of us include fish in our diet, and we get fish from rivers, lakes and seas. So the proportion of fish in seas is much greater than of those in rivers and lakes, and it is the natural thing, क्योंकि जो एरिया होता है सीज का, उसे अगर हम बाकी वाटर सोर्सेस से कंपेयर करेंगे तो वो बहुत बड़ा होता है, और उसकी वजह से proportion of fish भी वहाँ पर ज़्यादा होते हैं. So the catching marine animals is a large scale activity the world over. It is one of the ancient occupation of human beings. You people already studied this in the 5th standard EVS about the ancient occupations of human being, and in that we also studied that the human culture flourished on or near the river banks, and that is why fishing, which is one of the ancient occupation of human beings. Not only food, the marine animals are also used for the production of fertilizers and pharmaceuticals, and also in research. There are a number of medicinal benefits of the marine animals, and also these are used for the production of fertilizers. Now if we talk about the India, in India people mainly consume prawns, clams, seafish, mackerel, pomfret, Indian shark and Indian salmon. That is Columbi, Surmai, Bangda, Paplet, which are very famous. So these are the things which are in our daily diet from the sea or ocean. Many other type of marine animals are consumed in different parts of the world. The life of people from countries that have a coastline largely depends on the sea, especially if there are few other occupations. And in that especially Seychelles, Mauritius, Maldives are the examples. But the basic thing here which we have to understand is that not only for the purpose of medicine or for the production of fertilizers, हमारे डेली डाइट में भी इन सब चीज़ों का बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंस है. Then the next thing, in the regions close to the oceans or large reservoirs, there is not much of difference in the temperature throughout the day. The main reason for this is the mixing of vapor released through evaporation of water from these water bodies into air, and this vapor in the air absorbs and stores, not only absorbs but stores the heat released from the land, and hence the temperature in coastal areas remains equable. Here now in the image you can observe sea cooler, land warmer, warm air, then cool sea breeze. And because of this, the temperature in coastal areas remains equable. The oceans act as the controller of global temperature, and by this there is balance in the nature. We can say winds, especially planetary winds, this differential heating creates imbalance in the temperature of air in different parts, and this leads to formation of belts of high and low pressure on the earth, and winds blow due to pressure differences in these belts are called planetary winds. So here also in the figure you can see ocean, rock, land, then ice and snow, atmosphere, volcanoes, and the climate system, how the oceans act as the controller of the global temperature. Now in this, the next thing you can see just observe this and you can understand the water cycle. The oceans have a vast expanse and therefore huge amount of vapor get created. Here you can see huge amount of vapor get created. This process goes on continuously, and from this vapor the earth gets rainfall. Vapor, then clouds, and then rain. Oceans are the source of rains, and the rainwater flows through rivers and streams and finally flows back into oceans. This makes it clear that the beginning and end of the water cycle takes place in the oceans. Here the beginning and here is the end of the water cycle. तो ये जो वाटर साइकिल है स्टार्ट ही ओशन में होती है और ख़त्म भी ओशन में ही होती है. दैट इज़ वाई दिस वन इज़ द वेरी important thing for the living things on the earth. So it is not only playing an important role in controlling the global temperature, but in giving us rain also. Then the next thing, oceans and resources. We get minerals like iron, lead, cobalt, sodium, manganese, chromium, zinc, etc. from the ocean floor. Again I am repeating, iron, lead, cobalt, sodium, manganese, chromium, zinc, and sodium manganese also. And not only this, we also get mineral oil and natural gas from the ocean. Then we get precious atoms like pearls, corals, or ornamental atoms like shells, as also medicinal plants from the seas. Now one more thing, जैसे लिविंग थिंग्स में हमने देखा कि फिश होंगे या फिर अदर लिविंग थिंग्स है जो वाटर में रहते हैं, उनसे बहुत सारे फ़ायदे हमें मेडिसिनल है, फार्मास्यूटिकल्स में उनका यूज़ होता है. लाइक दैट also medicinal plants are there. Then the next thing, oceanic transport. Oceans have provided us the most economic option of transportation. Large scale transport of goods is carried out with the help of ships, trawlers, boats, etc. And international trade is carried out on large scale using waterways. Countries like Spain, Norway, Japan have a good coastline, and due to goods transport by ocean routes, these countries have gained importance. So basically, comparing to the all other ways of transportation, waterway is the economic option, because ocean currents are quite important in water transport, and as far as possible, water transport is carried out along ocean currents. Because of this, what happened? These ocean currents accelerate the speed of ships and also save fuel to a considerable extent, and this is why this option is quite good comparing to the other ways of transportation. Water transport is conducted on a much higher scale as compared to other modes of transport, and hence transport of bulky materials like coal, crude oil, raw materials, metallic minerals, food grains, etc. water transport is given preference all over the world. ये सारी चीज़ें अगर ट्रांसपोर्ट करनी है एक जगह से दूसरी जगह, तो वाटर ट्रांसपोर्ट को ही प्रेफरेंस दिया जाता है, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ ऑल द रीजंस विच वी डिस्कस्ड. बट देर आर टू साइड्स ऑफ अ कॉइन. जितने इसके फ़ायदे हैं उतने नुकसान हम लोगों ने खड़े कर दिए हैं, ह्यूमन बींग्स ने, एंड अबाउट दैट वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक नाउ. इश्यूज रिलेटेड टू ओशंस. About 70.8% of the surface of the earth is occupied by water, and out of that, ये जो 70.8 है उसमें से अगर हम इसको 100% मानेंगे तो 97 point near about is occupied by ocean water. In order to fulfill his requirements, man undertakes many activities, and these lead to the production of huge amounts of different types of waste, and because of this waste, these water resources are in danger nowadays. These waste materials cause pollution, and pollution of oceanic water is a major, and not only major, it's a serious issue that has developed in recent times. We discussed about the benefits or the importance of oceans. तो ओशन के इतने सारे इंपॉर्टेंस है, और अगर ओशन को ही पोल्यूशन की वजह से खतरा होगा तो वो सारे इंपॉर्टेंस जो है वो हमारे फ़ायदे के नहीं रहेंगे. दैट इज़ वाई द पोल्यूशन ऑफ ओशनिक वाटर इज़ नॉट अ मेजर इशू, बट इट्स अ सीरियस इशू which has developed in recent times. And one by one, if we discuss about this, oil spills, as we discussed about the oceanic transport, oil spills अगर एक देश से दूसरी जगह पे ट्रांसपोर्ट करना है तो प्रिफर किया जाता है वाटर ट्रांसपोर्ट, बट बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि वो जो वाटर टैंक्स होते हैं वो फूट जाते हैं, लीक हो जाते हैं, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट देयर इज़ danger for the living things which are there in the water bodies. So oil spills. Then the next thing, releasing the waste produced in the coastal cities into the seas. The cities which are nearer to the seas or oceans always, here you can see how the cities release their waste into the seas, and which is harmful to the nature. Next one, materials thrown out from ships, which is very harmful again. जैसे हम बस में ट्रैवल करते हैं, ट्रेन में ट्रैवल करते हैं, रोडवेज पे, और कुछ खाते हैं तो वो रास्ते पे वहीं फेंक देते हैं, उन ट्रैक पे, रेलवे ट्रैक पे छोड़ देते हैं. उसी तरह से लोग जब शिप्स में ट्रैवल करते हैं या फिर कोई सामान यहाँ से वहाँ लेके जाया जाता है, तो वो जो मटेरियल्स होता है, वेस्ट जो फेंका जाता है समंदर में, दैट इज़ वन ऑफ द इशू रिलेटेड टू ओशन. एक्सप्लॉयटेटिव फिशिंग. Because of this, there is imbalance in the life cycle of fishes or the living things. Then cutting of mangrove forest in coastal. Mangrove forest, important. And the cutting of mangrove forest in coastal is the issue related to ocean. The wood of mangrove trees is light and oily, it lasts longer, and it is used as fuel and also for shipbuilding. So the mangrove forests protect coastal areas from huge waves, and these forests also protect the biodiversity in the coastal areas. Now, if these forests are located near coastal towns, they are called the lungs of these towns. And you people just think about this. अगर इनको ही काटा जा रहा है तो उस सिटी की लंग्स को क्या हो रहा है, काटा जा रहा है. तो हम उसको डेंजर में नहीं ला रहे, वी आर पुटिंग आवर लाइव्स इनटू डेंजर. नेक्स्ट वन, डिजास्टर्स कॉज्ड बाय द वाटर माइंस. एंड द नेक्स्ट वन, sewage released by industries and cities, which is harmful because of its chemical nature or the chemical bodies present in that sewage. तो इससे जो फिश है या फिर जितनी भी वाटर रिलेटेड एनिमल्स या लाइफ है उन्हें भी इससे बहुत ज़्यादा खतरा होता है. एंड देन द excavations carried out in the seas. This is also one of the issue related to oceans. Now all the things listed here, including oil spills, releasing the waste produced in the coastal cities into the seas, materials thrown out from ships, exploitative fishing, cutting of mangrove forest in coastal areas, disasters caused by the water mines, sewage released by industries and cities, excavations carried out in the seas. So all these things lead to large scale pollution of oceanic waters. Some coastal regions are provided to be death traps for aquatic animals because of the pollution. And as a result, many aquatic animals are under the threat of being extinct. मतलब उनकी जो पूरी स्पेसीज है वही नहीं रहेगी, उन्हें सिर्फ हमें पिक्चर में देखना पड़ेगा, इमेज में देखना पड़ेगा. So this one is very danger thing. For example, the blue whale, some types of sea turtles and dolphins. So this is was all about the importance of ocean. Now if we talk about the importance of ocean, one more thing which we have to consider, that in future it will be possible to generate electricity with the help of oceanic waves and tides, and it is possible to convert the saline ocean water into potable drinking water, which will reduce the scarcity of drinking water to some extent. And the drinking water in the city of Dubai and United Arab Emirates is being made available through this method. अगर ऐसा हुआ तो बहुत सारी चीज़ें जो है वो सॉल्व हो जाएंगी और बहुत ज़्यादा पानी अवेलेबल हमें हो जाएगा. So in this topic we discussed about the importance of oceans and resources, oceanic transport and issues related to oceans. Please subscribe the channel and press bell icon to get notifications. So my dear ones, this is all for today. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe, take care.